Hello, art people. Welcome to day 3 of our Symmetry Butterflies lesson. I am collaboratively. What does collaboratively mean? Yeah, it means with other people. Developing goals for my symmetry butterfly and carrying out those goals by painting my butterfly so that I can ensure. What does ensure mean? Yeah, it means to make sure that my sculpture will be meaningful and purposeful to me. What does purposeful mean? That it has a purpose. I'll know I've got it when I've worked with a table mate, that's just someone at your table, to develop. What's develop again? To create or make. To develop and set goals for my butterfly sculpture that ensures that it will be meaningful and purposeful to me. So you'll be doing that first before you start painting your butterflies, and you'll use this worksheet here to do so. So I will talk about this for a little bit before I pass this out and let you guys get to it. First you'd write your name, and then it says my goals for painting or glazing my symmetry butterfly. So you will discuss what these goals mean with the kids at your table. And then you will work with a table mate to circle one number on each line to represent your goal. So when I pause this video and pass these out, you'll work with either the person next to you or the person across from you, person diagonal from you. You can all four work together. And you'll talk about, what does this mean? Neatness. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that means it would be messy? If we circled a 0 down here, our goal is to have a messy butterfly. And if we did a circle up here, it would be a really clean butterfly. What does neatness mean? Does it mean coloring inside the lines? Does it mean making our colors nice and bright? Okay, so you would discuss that, and you would each pick your goal after discussing that. Creativity, what could that mean? Work with your table to figure it out, and then circle a number. Color, what could that mean? Does that mean she wants the colors to match if it's a 10 and the colors don't go well together if it's a 0? Discuss that with your table. Once you guys are done circling your numbers here, and you guys don't all have to have the same goals, right? One of you might be extremely skilled at art and you circle 10s. One of you might not be so comfortable with art. You could be more comfortable with another subject like math or reading, but in art, you're like, I'm going to set a 6 for myself. So I don't want to be stressed out to make it perfect. And that's okay. Then when you finish that, you're going to want to write a little blurb for me. This is how my butterfly will be used. And again, you can work with your table mates to come up with ideas. Is it going to be something that when I'm drawing outside, I put my butterfly on my paper so it doesn't fly away in the wind? Is it something where I'm going to want to put a hole on it and a string on it and hang it on my doorknob or on a tree next year? How could you use your butter? Is it going to just decorate my room and make my room look more beautiful? And why is it going to mean a lot to you? Oh, I'm going to use maybe the colors of the Mexican flag and it's going to represent my heritage, for instance. Or I'm going to use my mom's favorite color and it will, mean that my mom is always watching over me or something like that. How are you going to create your butterfly to have meaning for you as you paint it? Now, if your table finishes up before all the other tables and before I push play on the video, you can draw a little picture of your butterfly and color it to represent the goals you've selected below on the back of this worksheet. Okay, so I'm going to pause it here and you guys are going to go ahead and work on this worksheet. All right, now that we have all finished that, and now let's talk about the glaze a little bit. So this is what our glaze containers look like. Some of them are going to be just perfect. For instance, I think this one, no, that one's a little dry. When you open these, you're going to open them over top your messy tray because little pieces of dry glaze will come out, as you can see here. Okay, this one is pretty much like perfect. It's thick, kind of like a thick pancake batter. So it's like moving around, but it's moving slowly. That's a really nice one. They're not all going to be like that, okay? Some of them are going to be too dry. Well, this one's really wet. We'll talk about that in a minute. Look at this one. Okay, this one is dry, right? Like it's not moving around at all. So for these, you can just put a little bit of water in it. And it will have like kind of a dry smell. You just shake it up for a while, probably even longer than this. And once it's all shaken up, it will be a little easier to work with. You can see how it's coming out now. You see that right there? How it's moving around like that. Okay. There is still a dry trunk in there, but we can shake that up and it will get better. So that's what you do. Here we go. Now you can see. That's what you do if it's a little too dry, is you just put some water in it and that will be good. Now, if you put a little bit too much water in it and it ends up getting really thin like this, that's okay. That's fine. You are just going to have to paint multiple layers. So I'll kind of show you here. So see how that's very thin? That's okay. It will dry really fast. And then you can just put another layer on it. So you'll just have to layer the thin ones a little bit more, and that's totally fine. Okay, so you can still use those. You are going to want to put multiple layers of your glaze on it. You're going to want to go over the whole thing with the layer, and then it will be dry, and then you can go over the whole thing with another layer, and that will dry. 3 layers is what I recommend. And now let's talk about what it will look like after you've glazed it. It will look something like this. So, obviously not this project, but this is what the glaze will look like. It'll be a pastel color. And notice how I don't have any of the clay showing through except for on the bottom, right? None of it is this color except for on the bottom. It's all been glazed. And I've done 3 layers of glaze on all of these. So this is ready to go. And it's pastel like that. But then I'm going to put it back in the kiln and it's going to go through another firing and it's going to come back out and it is going to look way different. You probably remember this from years past if you've done my lessons before. It will come out really shiny and glossy and feel really, really nice to touch. This is with 3 layers of the yellow. So look how it starts. It starts as a pastel yellow, but then when it goes into the kiln, it comes out really bright. And that happens for every single glaze. So here's what the yellow will look like. This is what the red will look like. This is the white. This is the brown. And again, this is 3 layers on each. It's not going to be this shiny and feel this nice and be this glossy unless you do your 3 layers. And if it's a thin glaze, even more layers than that. It won't be so nice to touch. Here's the red. Here is the black. And these are the different greens. So this is the ivy green. This is the other green. This is raspberry. This is the purple, wisteria purple, and this is again white. Okay. This is the ivy green. This is the raspberry whip. Okay. Here is the Tahiti blue, wisteria purple, and this is the other green that I don't remember what it's called. This one must have more layers than this one because this one's not as dark. Wisteria purple, and then just like the variety of colors, yellow, green, red, Tahiti blue. So I'm going to leave these here so you can kind of see what they look like after they're glazed. Okay, so you'll know what it will look like. Okay. All right, now that I've explained all the glaze rules and the information about the glaze, we can go ahead and get started painting. So we're going to use our messy tray, of course. If you are the alligator, you can get the butterflies. And just so you guys know, if your butterfly is broken, that's okay. You just made a puzzle for yourself. How exciting is that? All right. And then if you're the kitty cat, you can get out the glazes. And if you are the puppy dog, you can get out the brushes and the water. And then you guys can go ahead and get started. All right, you guys, that is it for this video. I will go ahead and pause it here. And when it is time to clean up, we will go ahead and put everything back away. Whatever you got out, you will put back. So kitty cats will put away the glaze, so on and so forth. And once the room is cleaned up, then I will allow you guys to wash your hands and line up. So we'll need to have our hands washed before you guys leave. So we'll want to have the classroom cleaned about 5 minutes till your class is over. That way you guys have 5 minutes to wash your hands and line up. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.